Welcome back to the Braw and the Brave with me, Lisa Kennedy. It is lovely to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, just hit that wee button now, will you? That would be lovely. And also, as you know, or hopefully you know, we're on the old socials. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and I would love it if you come and say hello. We're edging like ever so closely to 10,000 follows on Instagram. So I'm like, come on, pals, we can do this. We can do hard things. So if you're not already following us in the socials, that would be amazing. Thank you so much. And I'm so excited to say that we have not one, but two sponsors on this episode, which is so amazing and so lovely. I am so appreciative to Angela McCallum, the Scottish vocal coach. Now, Angela has been so supportive of the podcast. And as I've said in previous episodes, I actually know Angela, and as much as she is an incredible vocal coach who has an amazing skill set and her expertise and her experience just is above and beyond, she is just the loveliest person. And I think singing for some people can be quite a vulnerable thing if you've come into it as a newbie, if you're coming back to singing, and she is the perfect person if you're looking for a vocal coach just to give you that boost of confidence, to give you those hints and tips, vocal health, everything, all of the above and more. Angela is your person. And she said to basically her number, her WhatsApp number is going to be in the details below. So if you want to contact her today, make it happen. That's what I did. I'd literally, in 2024, I was just like, I'm going to sing. And I contacted Angela and I can't thank her enough. So she is sponsoring this episode, which is so kind of her. And also Studio One Dramatic Arts, which is a place for young people to learn theatre skills, community, confidence and creativity is at their heart. And I'm so thankful to them for sponsoring this episode. Actually, one of their tutors was on the podcast a number of years ago, Emma, and I'm so thrilled that another amazing space for young people to learn theatre skills. And actually working with young people, I quite often say to them, it's not about necessarily you want to become an actor, you want to become a dancer. The things that you learn just being part of something like that, a community, is like, you know, invaluable. So check them out. They're down there. Everyone's down there. But thank you so much to Studio One Dramatic Arts for sponsoring this episode. Right, I can breathe out now because guess who's here? It's only George Ure.
Hello.
You're actually a real life person.
I'm a real life person. I exist in the flesh.
Well, listen, because you've literally just stepped off a stage.
Less than a week ago.
That's wild.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for
you're
having me.
You're a bit incognito because some people might not even know that you're in Glasgow.
I know.
You're being a bit
sorry
covert.
to everybody, including my sister, who I haven't seen. Hiya.
So sorry you've not even seen your sister and you're here.
I've been looking forward to this chat all week. Can't wait.
That is so kind. So, we've never met. This is literally the first time we've met. But like, you sent me the loveliest voice note and I was just like, I need to meet this person. I need to talk to this. But thank you so much for being so kind about the podcast.
Pleasure. I love it.
You're so sweet.
It's all Darren Brownlee's fault.
Oh, but I mean, everyone's Darren Brownlee's fault.
I saw Darren's episode and I was like, oh, all right, okay, I'll watch that. And then Louise was on it. I was like, oh, another pal.
The Wall of Fame. Although we're now pointing out that Darren's not on this particular Wall of Fame, which
cue the phone call.
He will be raging about. But lovely Louise is up there. So these are humans that you know and love and have worked with.
Well, that's it. So Darren and Louise and I were all probably of the same age, and we were the same kind of, sounds like a stupid word, but the same generation of Scots that went down London and did the thing. And yeah, and we've all either worked with each other, around each other, shared friends. You know, we've just kind of been in each other's orbit all this time. So there's lots of people like Don Sivright and all that. You know, those were all my kind of contemporaries, and we all trained and were working at the same time. So that's how this one caught my attention. So it really is all Darren's fault, and I'm glad I watched it.
And
I am.
I'm so glad that you got in touch, and it was such a lovely kind of. It felt like the right moment when you got in touch, and it was so lovely because to explain to anybody who's been living under a rock, you have literally just stepped off the West End stage.
Yeah.
Playing the one and only Midge Ure.
The legend.
Which, by the way, I did not make the connection right away that you have the same surname.
We do. And they've actually...
literally genuinely didn't they? And then somebody, when I was talking about you, somebody was like, what, are they related? And I was like, oh, here, wait a minute. I never even...
No, I know. And I've actually had this my whole certainly my whole working life.
Yeah.
Because when I moved to London, people didn't know how to say my name. So I would say, oh, like Midge. They'd go, oh, is in Midge Ure? I'm like, yeah. And then when I did my first job, I came out the stage door and there was, ladies of an age saying, tell your dad I'm a big fan. I was like, he's not my dad, but I'll not bother ruining your dream today. And then when I met Midge, because he's exactly the same height as me.
Yes.
And when he was back in his youth, they had the dark hair, and it was,
You're
it's
just
weird.
adding to this
It's just
story
weird.
that you are Midge's
And he said to me, "We've
son."
got to do it. We've got to figure it out. Like we've got to trace it back and
Yes.
see, because there's got to be some connection along the line."
And everybody's related to Kevin Bacon apparently.
Right,
We're all 7
okay.
degrees
Are we
separated.
7 degrees from Kevin Bacon? Don't know how I feel about that. But like Midge is from Cambuslang, I'm from Airdrie. So like my dentist was in Cambuslang. It's that close, So I think we will figure it out. Yeah. But it's been, I don't even know where to start with this one, really.
Yeah, so the Live Aid musical. I'm so gutted that I missed it. It looked incredible. It was totally on my radar from the get-go, so I was following the socials.
Yeah.
Hadn't realised that a fellow Scot was in the cast like yourself. Like, so, as I say, we literally only connected like a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago.
Maybe a month,
yeah. Totally. But it looked phenomenal.
It was the job of a lifetime, I can't lie. It really was. And not only to sing, 40 of the best tunes ever written every night with, I would argue, the best band in the West End. A sound design that literally blew your face off. It was mega, but more importantly, we got to work with Bob Geldof, Midge Ure, Harvey Goldsmith, the Band-Aid Trust. Bono sent us an opening night video. Paul McCartney was in last week and sent us an email. Like, it was crazy. It was mad. And it was, all the while, the model of the show was to contribute to the Band-Aid Trust.
Love it.
So we made over £1.6 million for the trust.
That's
which is
incredible.
It's
Wow,
ridiculous. It's a
thing to
silly
be
amount of
part
money,
of.
and you knew that every time the show finished, the number would be up that night. And we watched it go from the hundreds of thousands into over 1 million into what we finished on. And I have the figure somewhere, but it was like 1,638,002 or something like that. But
the power of musical theatre, and it's one thing to be in an epic show, and you've had your fair share of epic shows. But that's like another thing on top of that. That's
it's another layer entirely,
yeah, totally. And such a, what an event in the first place. Like, and everyone will have their own memories or link to that moment in time to then create a show. And I guess the creators of the show, it's got to be something that's handled with care, because people already are attached to it and have a love for it, and
that's it.
And a knowledge and a history of it in some way, shape or form.
It's the moment. It's a moment in people's lives that are old enough to remember it, and that's because it predates me just by a couple of years.
Okay, yes, that's right.
So I don't know that our kind of age group generation have got that one big moment that we can all go, I watched that on the telly. I mean, there's probably little versions of that, but I don't think they've ever topped Live Aid. So people would come to the stage door after with their programme from the day, or someone had David Bowie's set list that he scrunched up and threw at her and she caught it.
Oh, proper
people got engaged in the front. People, like, it's the stories that came out of the audience were mega. And when we were sitting there with all these legends that made it happen, they're talking about it like they're talking about the price of cheese. Like, it was... Oh, do you mind? In fact, we were doing the Royal Variety recently, and Roger Taylor from Queen turned round. He was like, "Oh, I remember it was so bloody hot. I thought, oh God, no one's going to listen to us. It's too hot." I was like,
wow.
He said Queen were further down the set list than they wanted to be, because they weren't quite as big as they'd been at that moment in time.
Which you kind of forget.
You forget,
Do you know what I mean, when you're thinking about that story.
They weren't top of the bill.
Yeah.
And they thought no one would watch. Now, I've got an even better story. So one of the girls in the cast, Auntie, was at Live Aid and said that when they announced Queen, everyone started to make their way to the toilets. And as soon as Hammer to Fall started, they all turned round and ran back and nobody left. So, I mean, I could go on and on. That's 3 podcasts just about Live Aid. But yeah,
you should start your own podcast.
Can you imagine? The Bob Geldof fan club. But Bob came in on Saturday night, my pal Bob. And, it's that. Like, he just swings in. Oh, hi, guys. Yeah, hi. And had a tear in his eye. He was like, look what you did. He's like,
God, how special.
Amazing. And
so how'd you get there, George? How did that happen to you?
It's a really
graft, hard work, talent, skill.
All those bits, all the hard work and the graft and the plugging away. Yeah, I mean, listen, I can't sit here and pretend I've not been blessed with a fortunate career. I've done some amazing things, and I'm so very, very grateful for all of them. And they've all been they've all been life-changing in different ways,
course,
all of them.
of
And
course.
I'm
all chapters in
I've
the
got
book.
that's it.
Yeah.
And they've all marked something in my life as we've got there. But if truth be told, I'd had a bit of a moment where I took a step back from the business and I thought, I just need to kind of recalibrate a little bit and make sure that the next thing I do, whenever that may be, is the thing that I really want to do and that moves me to do it and feels like the right fit. Because, you know, things change and your outlook changes and your life changes, but the 8 shows a week is hard, no matter what you're doing. The schedule is a killer anyway. And, you know, I'd been working in drama schools for years and I'd been sitting in one for about 10 years and I ended up running the course and
Is that
it was
URDANG?
URDANG, yeah, the brilliant URDANG.
yes,
Yeah, it's amazing.
absolutely.
And, you know, I'd stepped into head of vocational studies and I thought I'm going to run the school with my people. And then this came knocking in the weirdest of ways. So at the college, one of the days was a casting session for Anne Juliet, and they said, George, will you play? Because I'm a pianist as well. Will you play for the casting? I says, yeah, no bother. So I sat there, and it was great because I got to big up all the students and be like, you want her? She's brilliant. And I think 9 of them actually
nice
got
one.
it. The tour that came to Glasgow, there was
Oh,
9
good
of the
on
grads
you.
on it. So I was like, well taught. And I'm sitting there playing away, and I know the casting director because I've known him for years.
Yeah.
And he texted me that night. He said, oh, I had no idea you could play it like that. I says, oh, cheers, mate. He says, don't suppose you're free on Saturday? I'm free on Saturday. I need a pianist for the morning. I says, fine. For this new show. Well, it was my show that I've just done. But it was its first outing when it went to the Old Vic. So I turn up and there's the writer, the director who I knew, and the casting director who I knew, and they were casting Midge. And all these boys are coming in that are my contemporaries. I'm like, hiya, Jack. Hiya, Michael. And I'm sat there all the while not really knowing what it's all about, thinking, that's cool. Yeah. This is a day's wage.
Yeah.
And a year went by and I got a text saying, do you fancy it? I says, what, playing Midge? I says, I reckon I could do that. And I went in, met the director, sang, that got sent to Midge, and then the rest is
Universe
history.
was just like, this is correct.
So if I hadn't played for those auditions at URDANG, I wouldn't have been on the radar for the role.
Wild. That's wild.
And the director is a mega star director. I mean, he's got millions of Anne Juliet, Starlight Express, Paddington, Live.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
he's an amazing director.
Yes.
And I knew him just because I'd auditioned for him over the years and we're about the same age. But that day when I was at the piano with a tea break and he stood up and he said, so George, what are you doing at the minute? You know, what's new with you? I was like, I'm actually, you know, I'm considering a bit of a gear change and I've just signed as a director with a new agent and blah, blah, blah. He says, okay, cool. Yep, great. That was it. And they thought, well, he's not interested. Then a year goes by and he said, I had this idea when I saw you and I really hope it works out. And then
planting the seed.
2 days later, do you want to do it? And
Could never have dreamt that up. But I think when you were saying you had taken a step back, when you initially said that, I thought that's quite brave to have made that decision in the first place. To take a step back, because I guess it just feels like you're part of the machine, and it's like, you know, there's all that competition, and you just got to keep going and put yourself out there. It could be quite easy just to be like, well, I need to go for the next thing because I need to work, and I'm in London, and the life in London, I can imagine, like, it's so expensive to be there. So the fact that you did that for yourself, I think, as a creative, is hugely brave. And it was obviously the right thing at the time.
It really was, because I was happy and I was content and I was just enjoying myself.
Great.
Is that not a dad? And I'm enjoying myself. I was really enjoying myself. I was enjoying the structure. I was loving the job. I was loving, you know, working with the students in a different way. I was getting my kicks as a director because I would always do one of the graduate productions, and I got to work with brilliant creatives, and I was getting all my fixes.
Yes.
And I didn't particularly mind that I wasn't on stage. And it is exhausting. And I think anybody who works in the business at large, but certainly in the theatre, it's mentally exhausting, it's physically exhausting, it's hard on every part of your body. And at some point you do just go, I'm going to just take a minute. And also, you know, I'm closer to 40 than I am to 30 now. So my casting was changing. So where I'd made a career out of being...
Well, I think you're defying time, so I think you're all right, pal.
I don't feel it today. But where I'd played the pal or the wee boy, or the wee cheeky chap, I'd made a career out of those roles. You know, Bok, Tobias, Rusty. That was the tick list of the wee guys, which I loved and I was good at, and I knew where I was with that. And suddenly they're not coming in as much, and you go, because everybody who knows that I was doing them 15 years ago. So they just subconsciously start to not see you there. So when you're not putting yourself out there, no one knows where to put you. So Midge is the first time I've ever played an adult.
Gosh.
Like a grown-up, a man, a
You're
full-blown man.
Like the mercy, for want of a better word, of like, you're casting and how other people see you, and for you to be like, well, I could do that.
I can do that. Yeah.
I can do that, and it's just somebody not taking a chance because they weren't taking a chance. But you're obviously the talent, but I guess you can maybe be pigeonholed to an extent.
100%. And I remember my mum saying to me all the time, don't get typecast, don't get stuck. And I remember saying, typecast means you are cast.
True story.
Also, listen, there's no beating about the bush, and I would defy any actors who are Scottish to not say this. There is an assumption that because you're Scottish, you can do the common, rough, aggressive thing.
Oh, yeah.
There really is. And I'm not sure. I know that's changed and is changing, continuing to change. Good. But there is this kind of, you'll be the wee pal or the aggressive person on EastEnders, or they're not traditionally looking at the wee guy from Glasgow as Hamlet,
Yes, and then you're seeing that from the perspective of being a teacher at URDANG as well. Do you know what I mean? And you're trying to prepare these young people for going into the industry, and you know it well enough. You've got your hand, so it's not like you're removed from it. You've been there, done it. You're doing it. You're in there. Exactly. So you're trying to advise them correctly, but also there's like a culture that probably needs to change.
There is, and because when the students turn around to you and they say, "I don't know what my casting is," I'm like, neither do I until someone starts casting you. But what I do know is your personality and your energy and your skill set, and if we're talking musical theatre specifically, if a casting breakdown comes in, it's very obvious whether you're right or wrong, because either you've got the notes, the height, the skin colour, whatever it is they're looking for, you've either got them or you don't.
Correct.
Everything else is over to fate and agents and all the boring stuff that I don't have to get involved with. But yeah, certainly when I was starting out, my first agent, he said to me in the meeting, you're just too Scottish. It's so abrasive. And I said, that's my golden ticket. And he said, where am I from? I said, I've got no idea. He said, exactly, because you shouldn't know. So I think I graduated at a time when it's all changed now. It's all changed now.
My hackles are up.
Right? It's complete. If I was leaving drama school now, it would be yes, he's Scottish. Correct. Whereas then it was dial it down.
Wow.
Put your teeth in. Put your nicest shirt on when you go and audition for Les Mis. Don't be wearing those trainers. Yeah. So you were, and listen, I'm not having a go at him because he was right. Actually, there was just an etiquette.
And you've got to learn from that. It happened. What can we learn from that?
It's like when I was being trained, everyone goes on about, it was brutal, it was bullying. You're like, I never got bullied at college. I got worked really hard. And there was no exceptions made. You were either in or you were out, and I loved it. I thrived on it because I need that, because I can wander. I did it yesterday. All right, I'm going to go and iron my trousers. Oh, but I'm going to just do the dishes, and then I'm going to go and pull a suitcase out and just check what's in there because I'm at my mum's at the minute. I'm going to look through my record of achievement from 1995. Anything.
Oh my God, never heard.
Right?
I feel so seen.
Do you feel seen? So
I'm like, squirrel.
I need somebody sitting on me and actually telling you, you're not working hard enough. You're actually not good enough today. Or that wasn't your best work, or whatever it might be. Because now I think that there is a slight issue in training where, because of the historical problems, and I'm talking drama school training. Yeah. Because there have been really horrific times for people back in the day, and there's no excuse for that. No. I'm just lucky it didn't happen to me. Okay. But everyone, as an educator, as a human, you've got an eye on everyone's well-being. You want to make sure that they're coming in and they're being worked, but they're not being worked past their ability, or they're not being bullied into submission, or sitting on their back to get them in the splits, or judging their weight or their hair. Or, those days are long gone. Great. But with that comes how kind of firm can I be before it's perceived as something that's not meant?
Yeah, because you're going into the real world.
Yeah.
And like any job, there'll be rules and things that you need to follow, and you will need to work hard. any job. So it's preparing young people for that, to have that resilience of going,
That's it.
how do I react to that? What do I have a voice? When can I say that's enough?
And you should have one. And when do I
Correct.
speak up?
Yes.
But it's
It
like...
can't all be, you're amazing, you're awesome all the time, because
Right.
nobody is.
And all of us that ended up in London, you know, if you're from Cardiff, Glasgow, Dundee, whatever, you were probably one of the best at the time. You know, you were getting the parts and you were maybe getting the attention. So it's not even about having an ego. You just come down, you go, I'm good at this because I get in.
Aye, and
but
then
everyone
we
was
fish
good
in
at
a
it
big
and got
pond.
exactly that.
Aye.
And I think I sussed that out quite quickly because I knew what I was able to do. I knew what I was capable of. That's never been a, oh, thank you. Like, oh, you think I can. There's no false, I hate false modesty. There's humility, and I think, you know, I'm very grateful that I was well taught and I was well whipped, especially when I was up here. I've got a lot of people up here to thank for actually getting me down to London. But what I wasn't going to do was sit with those other talented people and pretend that I couldn't do it.
Oh, no me.
Not me,
I just got here by chance.
No, it's like I
No,
got here
really
because
hard
my mum and dad
talented.
really, really put their neck out to give me opportunities, and
Right.
I've got 3 jobs to get me through this. And when people would be like, oh, you're never out at the weekend, because I can't be here and go out because I have to work. You know, so even the...
Oh, handed to you.
Yeah,
but you're a grafter and you're willing to put in the...
And that was the best thing that ever could have happened, because 3 weeks ago, my manager from the pub I worked in my first year at college was at the show.
Oh.
Because I had this whole
You're
other
a full
network
circle,
of people.
I love that.
I had this other bunch that I could be with and hang out with. I
Yeah.
spent 50 hours a week with my year group, and I've still got 5 or 6 of my best friends in the world were in my class, and we all get together, we all go on holiday, we're all having babies and getting married. But, you know, I was there to get it done, and I couldn't afford to not succeed at it. I couldn't get to the end and be like, oh, we'll just see what happens, because I was
This has got to work.
starving for it. I wasn't hungry for it, I was starving. And when you're starving, you need to eat.
You do.
So you find a way.
Ah. And what, it's lovely to hear that you had parents that were so supportive of
Tremendous.
that.
Tremendously so. You know, I'm actually going to give my dad a wee shout out, because I lost my dad when I was a wee boy, but it was today is the anniversary today. So it's kind of poignant that this has come up today. So it's 27 years ago today. So shout out to Big George. And, you know, I was 11 going on 12 when that happened. So that was obviously, you know, horrific for everyone involved. So my mum, I don't even know how much I can say without losing it about my mum. Like, she did everything to make sure that we got on and had a shot. So, you know, I've given my dad credit over the years where I could. Like, my first programme, I like dedicated the show to my dad, you know, because I'd always wanted to do that. But you know, my mum did it. She did it all, and I would be nowhere without her. I'd be nothing without her. She was amazing, and made sure that I did well at school, and that you balanced it, and that you were, you know,
such a formative age. I mean, it's a horrific thing to happen.
Yeah,
but like
it's tragic. It was just a tragic accident,
of course,
you know.
and like, so that, you know, your story could be very different.
Totally different
For your mum, for you, do
for
you know what I
everybody,
mean?
yeah. And there was other siblings and nieces and nephews and all that.
Of course.
But yeah, I mean, but without my mum just being amazing and sitting on me when I needed it and telling me the truth, always the truth. My mum can't BS me.
Yeah.
And everything, she's seen everything I do, you know, of course, because she's hugely supportive and she loves going to the theatre. But what's brilliant is she's not from the theatre world, so she's not coming at it like a critic. She's coming at it as a punter. Which is what you need, because that's who comes. 5 critics come because they're paid to. Thousands and thousands of punters come because they want to, right?
Totally.
And she'll give me the review.
Oh, yeah.
And it'll never be too detailed or harsh. It'll just be, do you like that? It was good. You did well. Until this one. And she was like, that was fantastic. She came back twice, her and my auntie Rosie.
Did she?
Yeah, I had so many of my family came down to support, but they all came back. You know,
it speaks volumes.
Yeah, the show
was
was
no cheat
mega.
to go to the West End
It's
to
really
see a
not.
show, so
It's
that
not.
speaks volumes.
So yeah, I suppose what could have been just a horrendous change of direction at a really tricky time turned out to be the thing that actually spurred me on and made me dig my heels in more, because I was so lucky that I knew no matter what it was, this was where I wanted to do.
Yeah, because I work with young people, and it's that thing, you know, it's just like, what do you want to do when you grow up? Do you know what I mean? And I think for a lot of people, and I think in the world that we live in now, it can be quite confusing.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it feels like sometimes that there is no job for life, and I'm always saying to young people, like, we can do that do that now. You think beyond, because who knows? Do you know what I mean? But if that's the thing you want to try, go for it, and it isn't pie in the sky stuff. Like, it can happen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it can.
And living proof.
But again, we're saying that out loud that people can see. But you go back to the late 90s, early 2000s, you didn't know that.
No.
So I went to, again, always balanced. I would go and I was doing like 2 things a night. You know that kid that was, you'll be 5 minutes late to the jazz band because you're 5 minutes early to taekwondo. Like, and I really did do everything.
Wow.
The trumpet, the keyboard, the taekwondo, drama, singing, everything. I did everything.
So all the clubs.
But I had to get my grades at school. That was the thing.
Yeah,
and if I remember I got a letter home because I hadn't done my homework for Spanish. I'll never forget it because I never had a letter home.
So you were at school in Airdrie?
I was at school in Airdrie.
What school did you go to?
St. Margaret's.
Yeah.
Mrs. McKee was my Spanish teacher, and she was an amazing teacher. Do you go to St. Margaret's?
No, but I teach in Airdrie, so I'm familiar.
So Mrs. McKee was my Spanish teacher, and I'll just never forget it. George has not done his homework 7 times, which was ludicrous. I should have done my homework, but you know, I was learning a script or something. And
learning something else.
I was a junior at the RCS in the music school.
Yes.
And I'm not, I'm aware of time, but I could tell you the whole big story. Long story short, someone pins me down in the common room and says, we need a trumpet player for the pantomime for the drama students tonight, and you've been recommended. I'm about 15 at this point, 14, 15. I went, aye, great, I'll phone my mum. So I phoned my mum. I don't think so. Why? I get to play for the band and I'm going to sight read this music, and I've had a letter home from Mrs. McKee and you've not done your homework. And anyway, I talked my way out of it. Nice. And I said, please, people are relying on me.
Yes.
And I'm sat in the pit and I meet Alistair Hawthorne and Andrew Panton. 2 people that I went on to. Andrew Panton changed the course of my outlook. Andrew was the one that set me up to go, like, if you're going to do it, this is how you do it.
Nice one, okay.
So I went to Inter, which was UK Theatre School.
Yeah, I know some people go there.
Who, you know, Liz Ann and Stephen, who run the school, are 2 of my dearest, closest friends. In fact, I'm saying them after you.
That's so cool.
So shout out to Inter, because I still come up and
absolutely.
I teach with them whenever I can, and I'm still really involved with the school whenever I've got the time.
Good on you.
But they did me so many good turns, and again, they're on the top of the list of people from up here that set me on my way. But Andrew was having none of it. You know, if you were late, you were out the door. I didn't turn up to a recording session one day, it was like, well, don't bother coming back then. I told you want to get treated like a pro, you're sacked. You didn't come to the session. Cried my way back in.
I bet.
And then eventually he hired me, and we worked together. But he's someone that, you know, all the work that Andrew's done, that's, again, as an adult, as a grown-up now, I go, but if Andrew could do all those things, I could do all those things. I could run a venue and be a vocal coach and be multi-skilled and get outside the box a wee bit. So there's so much talent up here. There's so many skilled, multi-talented people. And yeah, just I suppose that the stars aligned for me, where my trajectory was uninterrupted. I just got great opportunity after great opportunity. Got a kicking when I needed it. I got a hug when I needed it. I got a well done when it was deserved, and I went down there ready to rock it.
But I'm already getting, I know I've just met you, but I'm getting the reason why, because you just seem like a decent human who's passionate about what they do and puts the work in, and like it goes forward with kindness. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can feel that about, I honestly, and from your voicemail, and I think I'd like to think I was a good judge of character. I just got the vibe. I was like, he seems smashing. You're Braw. That's what the vibe I got. And like, it goes a long way, being a decent human, putting in the effort.
Most important thing.
100%. Like, when it all goes away.
Because all of it, you took the words out of my mouth, all of it will go away at some point.
100%.
None of us are doing, and also, why would I want work to be the most important thing in my life?
Yeah, well, I know. I need to tell myself about that, I know.
I'm a workaholic. But do you know what I mean? Like, when you're looking at, you know, at the end of the road, when you're lining up all the successes, you think, oh, thank God I really worked a lot of hours. No, but like, maybe you've got to work, you've got to earn a living. And again,
Yeah.
I get to earn a living doing what I did when I was 8. So I'm very, very lucky. I'm not lucky, I'm fortunate. I hate that when you say lucky, because lucky makes it feel like it just happened.
Didn't he? You
Fortunate
made it happen.
that my best mate, Ashley, is also an actress from Scotland.
Okay.
In fact, you should get her on, you'd love her. She's Braw.
Okay.
Said, luck is what happens when opportunity and hard work collide. The harder you work, the luckier you get. Thought there's something in that.
Yeah, 100%.
Of course, there's luck in. Of course, there is.
Absolutely.
Of course, like I'm sitting waiting on the
It
phone ringing at
negates
the minute.
all that, like all the stuff that's behind the scenes.
Yeah,
like if you just
because
go, I'm dead lucky.
I'm
You're
dead
like,
lucky.
nah, you though, because you've actually put in the effort, put
And
in
it
the
can look
graft.
dead shiny when you're,
Of course.
when you're at Wembley with Midge and Bob going, look what I'm doing, guys. But actually, what you've not seen, maybe 18 months previous, is that I'm sitting pulling pound coins out the back of the couch, for example.
Yes.
And I'm
Yeah.
not pleading poverty here,
No,
but it's
reality.
true. The reality is that
100%.
I will not get another wage from that show today, and I'm used to it coming in on a Friday. So you go, it's out the theatre. It's been moved out. The new show's been moved
that
in.
feels like.
Yeah, everyone's packed up. They're packing it up as you're doing the show. So on the last night, you hand a prop over, and it's like, thank you, and it gets bubble wrapped and put in a box. Your microphone gets taken off you, wrapped and put in a box, and everything. By the time you're done, there's not a prop or a costume around you. It's gone because they've got to get it out within 2 or 3 days.
Or can you not disclose this?
No, I can because I got permission.
Nice.
And I wasn't, because I'm no a thief.
You're not a steely thief.
Definitely.
Who's a thief?
I think I nicked a pair of socks from my kid. Really sorry, but I just had to.
Of course. I have to mention my kid. We have to mention my kids.
Oh, we'll get
go
to
back
that
there.
one.
We'll go back there.
But I did nick my stripy socks, but there was a hole in them, so they would have had to bin them anyway. And I think,
of course, you were actually doing them a favour.
5 years, my wee socks could come with me, and they're in my treasure chest.
Well, they'll not be in the Hall of Fame now when they do the whole museum of George Ure. And you'll be
They
like,
can have my hat. They've still got that.
You'll be
My
like,
shirt.
well, actually, I've got the songs.
There's a pair of Calvin Klein somewhere with my name on them. We can have them. But no, I got beautiful pair of Chelsea boots for my costume, but I was starting to get sore knees because it was quite a jumpy, stompy show, you can imagine. So for all I wasn't doing huge amounts of choreography, what I was doing was rocking out and banging my feet on a hard floor. So my knees were getting a wee bit nippy. So I said, I think it's the shoes. So they made me a new pair of shoes, which was lovely. We gamba. I like a Latin shoe. I thought, I look as if I'm about to do a foxtrot or something here. So I'd borrowed my nice original pair for a press event, and I had just forgotten to take them back. They were under my bed, and the head of wardrobe last week went, George, you did have 2. I went, 2 what? She says, I went, they're under my bed. She went, have them.
Oh.
I was like, oh, cheers. Sell them on eBay when I'm really skint. No, I've got a wee memento of everything I've ever done. Like just a wee something.
I mean,
everything.
Wicked. You were in Wicked.
I
didn't know this about you until I started scrolling back and getting a wee. I like to do my research, and I was like, "Pal, hello." I mean, another global sensation that the world, of course, is still going mad about.
That's what I love about it, is that it's actually just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was there at a time when it was the hottest ticket in town. I mean, it was just
you were playing box.
I was playing box, so it was my first job out of college. I got
what?
Yeah. That was luck.
No,
it was, because it could have been one of 20 of us, and I think it was down to the wire. So my pal got it on the Wednesday, and I phoned the agent. Stop phoning. It's a good lesson for life, actually. Actors, when they know, you'll know.
Yeah, again.
Hi, but offers are going out. It was like, George, put the phone down. It's 6:05. The office is shut. We'll phone you. Then he said, why don't you come in? Because I was still at college at the time. I was doing my final show. And he said, come in on Friday. I think we need to talk. I was like, okay. He said, you've got your hopes up on this one. I understand. But it doesn't look like it's going your way. This will happen again and again and again. And it was really kind of him. He was teaching me as a young actor.
This is the deal.
This is the deal. And, I think people imagine it's a cliche, but it's not. 9 out of 10, you don't get or hear back from.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to hear on something at the minute that I really want. Mm-hmm. I really want. And if I don't get it, I'll be fuming.
Fine, great.
But also, then I'll know. And I'll go,
then
right, well, I'm free that month and I can go and do the next, or whatever it might be. You do get a wee bit.
The universe is opening up for whatever.
Right, you get a wee bit better at that.
You're going to get it.
Yeah. going to get it at 4 o'clock when we're signed off.
That would be amazing.
That would be amazing. Then I'll
Well,
phone you. I'll phone you for the add-on.
Hello,
But you know,
yes.
because I do put my heart and soul into things. If you want it, I'm like,
you should be like, you should feel like that. You should feel very gutted when you don't get it because you tried your hardest and you really wanted it.
And I say to my other half, like, if I don't get it, it won't be because I didn't work hard enough. It'll be something else, and that's
There's
cool.
So much at play. So much at play, and you don't know who they've cast already,
anything,
and like, because
any number of things.
Even like casting Amdram productions, I know the turmoil that we go through in the room to be like, you know, you've got a pick of all these amazing, talented people, and it's you know, you're building a picture, and you're like, well, that's not, and it could be down to all sorts of things. So I can't even imagine what it's like.
It's always it's everything but your ability.
Correct.
When you're at that,
the fact that you've been asked to be seen is because you can do it.
And when you're at that stage and you've met the team and you've gone in, it'll be a factor like height, hair colour, whatever it may be. It could be the jigsaw of who else is in it, and would it be funny for you to play opposite them? It's always anything other than the fact that I was able to walk out and go, I did a good job. For myself, to go to bed at night and feel like, well, fair game now, right?
Yep.
But Wicked, I got called in and he said, right, it's not going your way. I said, that's cool. Cried my way back to the theatre because I had to go back and do my dress rehearsal for my graduate show. And I got off the tube and the phone went, and that was it. And he said, I've just had an offer. Never forget the words. We've just had a call from Pippa. They'd like to offer you second cover Bach. Would you like to do it? And I said, and it was raining and my knees went weak, and I know I was at King's Cross Station and I was shaking, and I just was like, oh my God. Couldn't believe my luck. I couldn't believe it because it was too huge at the time. You know, the show was only, I suppose in life it was only about 4 or 5 years old, but it was only in its second year in London, not even had its second birthday yet. So it was very early days. And I'd seen it, I would think about 10 times by that point. I was obsessed with it. And I knew everybody in it and bought the programme. And like I tell the students, you don't need to know where they trained, you need to know where they worked. Because you're training. It doesn't matter now, you're here. It says go to the back. Who's casting it? Who's producing it? Who's the general manager?
Good teacher you are.
Try. But I'm like, it doesn't matter. When you're 15, it matters that 6 URDANG, 4 Arts Ed, 3, whatever it might be. That matters then. But now you're trying to get in the door. So who cares? You're going to get your shiny diploma or degree the same as everybody else. So that happened. And I went in and I just spent years not believing that it was happening, which is so funny because I moved into the building. I was second cover, then I got promoted to be the first cover, and then I auditioned and got the role. In the year that there was a big shift, so that was like the first year with Rachel Tucker, Louise Dearman, Lee Mead. That was the principal lineup: Clive Carter, Julie Legrand, Cassie Compton, and the late Julian Forsyth, and me. And it felt like a moment, you know, because Rachel went on that made her a star, and Louise is the only actress in the world that's played both roles. She played Elphaba. She played Glinda for 2 or 3 years, then came back and played Elphaba. And she's the only actress in history that's full-time played both. I was there for the first one when we were all standing in the bar with our pals going, that happened. And then I did the tour a couple of years later, came up to Glasgow, which was the reason I did it, actually.
That's
I thought,
so
if I get to come to the Kings.
What a different, that must be a whole other animal to be touring as well.
Oh, it's a whole different beast,
thing.
yeah.
It's one thing being based somewhere, but yeah,
it doesn't suit me that well being on tour. I've done it a couple of times. It doesn't really speak to my nature, but I said I have to do that tour because I get to play the theatre that got me into the theatre with the show that got me into the business. It was like the 6th of May 2014. I've got a picture I saved on my phone, and I think I put it on Facebook. And I stood outside the Kings, the church, and I took a picture and I said, "This is the night that Glasgow took my breath away," because it did. Getting to play to your home crowd with a show like that, playing with the Scottish accent. I did it. And then I went back in again. I kept going back. I did one night randomly 2 years later. Then they invited me back for a little stint in 2019, 20. I did 3 or 4 months just as a guest, which again was, I can't believe they're asking me. And everyone else is like, you've done it. Like, that's your role.
Yes, that's you.
I'm going, but they could have asked any of the other ones and they asked me. And I really got to put a button on it then. I thought, that'll be it now. That'll be it, because I've got to say goodbye to it at some point. You never say goodbye to the show
Yeah.
because you're always back for an anniversary. Or
imagine.
it's got so many friends in the
Yeah.
building, you know.
But you're making space for something
Yeah,
else.
exactly,
Do you know what I mean?
and
It's like
going-
the post-show blues. You're like,
Yeah.
aye, but what else is waiting in the wings
And you
to happen to me?
can't keep hanging on to something that was brilliant. Just let it be brilliant. And actually,
Aye, the fact that it ends doesn't make it. That
I
it's
got
not,
to
it wasn't
end
brilliant.
in my terms. I got to do it short and sweet.
Love it.
And
Yeah.
there was a wee night that was just about me leaving, and for the first time in all those thousands of performances, it was me at the speech getting the flowers and standing centre stage with the witches, and I've got that on video, and I was able. I truly
cool.
the curtain came in, and I went, "That's it now. Like I'm happy with that, you know." And then they gave me my face off the wall, so I've got that in the garage. So yeah, it was.
Wow. I
That
hope you're writing a book.
my memoirs, maybe one day.
But you're a very young human to have achieved so much in such a short period of time.
Very young.
Yeah. Listen, the stuff that you've done today, and we're only scratching the surface, huge. That's lifetime stuff. People are like working towards that and might never that, but you did all that.
I've managed
You
to,
did that.
yeah, I really honestly, I think that's where the break came from, because I looked at it all and I thought, if I never work again, I've ticked off almost everything I could have dreamt of. You know, I'd played the West End, I'd played the roles that I wanted to, I'd worked with my heroes, I'd been on the telly, like I'd done the Royal Variety, all that.
Because it comes with all these things like the Royal
all
Variety
the other
and
bits,
like,
yeah.
all of the bits that you don't even think
Yeah.
of until you're in it and you're like, oh geez, we get
Well,
to do this.
And I really was like, you know, if nothing else ever happened, wee George is chuffed. Like, you know, he could only have dreamt of things like
Yeah.
that. That sounds so silly, but I could only have dreamt of that when I was 10, listening to my Andrew Lloyd Webber songbook and then working with the man himself in a studio smaller than this, getting invited onto his greatest hits. You're just like, that doesn't happen. But it does. It
You're
does.
you, and you're talented, and you're hardworking,
yes.
and you're passionate about it.
I really
You
love it.
You love it.
I really love it, and I
So isn't it
respect
you?
it. I respect what it is and what it does for people, and it's not a joke. And I think so many people think it's a silly thing or it's a casual thing. You think, no, it's my whole life is wrapped up in that. So you can't make a joke about it because it really matters to me. And when people say it's no life and death, I'm like, no, it is. It is actually my life and death, because what's the equivalent? What do I do if I don't do this? And I'm not talking about just being on stage, because as I mentioned, I'm also a director, and I like to write, and I've considered writing, and I go, there's no people that show people, right? And I love that
sense.
that kind of shared language where you just know what you're getting, even if you don't like them, you know what you're getting, and you all just speak this individual thing. You don't have to explain yourself. Things are allowed that wouldn't be allowed if I was working at, you know, Deloitte or Tesco. You know, there's certain allowances made for the fact that we are all a bit, you know,
and that's
run the
celebrated.
twist.
That's encouraged.
Exactly.
And that's celebrated. And there's magic that happens in a space
There
with
is.
people and an audience and that connection, and
a
lives are
unique thing.
changed. And when
Lives
that
are
kids
changed.
can see themselves on that stage, or see somebody that looks like them, or they've got a dream, or like lives will change in an instant.
I can tell
because
you,
of
there was-
you sang a song.
Exactly.
Or
And
said
you,
a line.
and you think, oh, it's just show number 490. You're like, but that's show number 1 for wee Jessie Figuruk.
Yeah.
That's the first time she's ever sat there and had her mind blown. And you did that. And when she looks back in 20 years and it's your face looking at her, how's that going to feel? You know?
And you'll remember the shows that you went to see
All
as
of
a
them.
kid.
There's
do you know
two
what I mean?
that totally did it for me.
Uh-huh.
Jesus Christ Superstar at the Kings, and I think that was about 1998.
Oh, what a show.
What a show.
I
That
love it,
opening with
yeah.
the cross. Oh. See, there's a light. People don't think about lighting designers. That lighting design
You're so right, by the
blew
way.
my mind.
I know.
I remember the boys all climbing down the cross, and it blinded me and thinking, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And then it was Miss Saigon at the Playhouse in about probably 2001 or 2, around then. But my mum amazingly got us seats. Now, I can't dear. And it was Edinburgh, and it's not as easy as it is now, Airdrie to Edinburgh. You had to come into Glasgow.
Wow.
And I'll go all the way back out on another train.
Yes.
Into Queen Street and then down to Central, or whatever way it was. Edinburgh felt like amazed when we were going to Spain, right? And we got there and we're right up in the gorge, and I'd never been in the Playhouse, and it was massive, and I remember going, whoa, it's made my tummy go funny. I thought the pavilion was big, but this is huge.
Huge. Huge.
And it started, and I was like, somewhere else. But we had to get the last train.
Oh, okay.
I never saw the end of the show.
Did you not?
I didn't know what happened at the end for about 5 years.
It's hilarious.
I didn't know, and I remember my poor mum. I can't believe it. There's only 10 minutes left. She's like, we have to
We're
get home.
stranded
We're not getting
in Edinburgh.
we're not getting a taxi for Edinburgh Airdrie. You know, we're just not doing it.
No.
And we've got our tickets and we've
going.
seen it, so we're going. And I remember walking out and can I get a key ring? No, we need to get the train. I was like,
The similar thing happened to me when I nearly got to meet Bryan Adams because he was playing the Playhouse and I was a huge Bryan Adams fan. And we went to stage door and they were like, yeah, Bryan comes out not at the matinee, but he'll definitely come out tonight if you just hang about. And we were like, but we need to go home. But we're in Edinburgh and we need to go back to Bellshill.
Right. Are you from Bellshill?
I'm from Bellshill.
I was in Bellshill last night.
Where are you?
Yeah, I was dropping my niece off after a shift. But I didn't realise you were that close.
All the stars on Bellshill.
I knew it was Lanarkshire, I could hear it. But aye, that was that. So I never saw the end until the next tour. And then that was Kerry Ellis, who then I went on to play opposite in Wicked, and she was the first one that I played the role with on stage, even though I'd done it with all of them at some point.
Literally just mentioned her earlier on because she's coming to Glasgow to do a West End
book. Go and see her.
That's what I said.
It's
I was
amazing.
like, hello.
And Kerry and I cross still because we kind of end up gigging for friends once a year, and our paths continue to cross. And she's a tremendous talent. She's amazing, Kerry. All of them, they were amazing. They were all
the people
amazing.
You collect in it along the way,
amazing. And the
just like all
friends
these
of my the story of my life, just good people that you know within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I truly believe that, and I think that's true of probably life at large, but certainly in our game where you do get mixed personalities. In that first day rehearsals, I'm usually right. If I pick you up on day one, you're usually with me on day 365.
Yes.
Even if we've fallen out along the way.
All the good ones gravitate towards you though, George. That's
because
what it
everyone's
is.
a bit nervous in the first day.
Of course.
You all walk in kind of belly big balls going, oh yes, hi, we all got the job. And actually you're thinking, oh my God, they're so much better than me. Or I bet they've learned it. Or they were at the director's wedding. That means that... There's this weird kind of sensation that it's all going to get pulled away for you.
Yeah, I think you're so massively brave to enter that world. That's wild, yeah. You have so much like inner belief in the thing that you're doing and the fact that you can do it.
Yeah.
You've just got to like...
And that falters at times, you know. This one that I'm waiting on, I had to do quite a lot of work for it, and there was quite a lot of hours with just me in a room on my own screaming blue murder going, this will never work, I gotta get it. And then the sense of achievement by the end of it where you go, oh, I did. It's like, you know, and I feel like, oh, I learned something there, or I got that wee bit that was hard, or whatever it might be. Even just getting to the end of this run felt like an achievement, because really there was a point in the middle where all of us were like, I can't see the end of this.
Yeah, the physical, mental, like exhaustion.
The show is just, and listen, it's going out on tour next year, so it'll be coming up to Scotland. It'll be doing the rounds. So if anyone didn't see it in London, I would urge you to go and see it. And that's not a plug. I'm not even in it, you know, anymore. But it is a game changer. But you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Is that it starts and it doesn't stop. It's like a treadmill for 2.5 hours, and you're on stage really for 99% of the time. There's only one or two moments where there's two people on stage. Everyone's on. So it's amazing.
Yeah.
But even like sitting still for 20 minutes, you must be sitting at home thinking, you know, I build cars. What, you're sitting in your ass for 20 minutes? But actually sitting in front of 1,200 people.
I'm working dead hard.
Sitting there concentrating.
Don't get to switch off. I have to be that person. I'm being someone else.
You're not going for a cigarette break and a coffee being like, oh, go back on in a minute. No, you're sat there. You're on.
Yeah.
You're on, mentally on, physically on. And even like the one thing, touch wood, that I've never worried about per se is singing, because I know how to sing. I love to sing. I always sing. And again, touch wood, my voice has never let me down, right? That doesn't mean that I mistreat it, but it's just never let me down. It's the one thing I can rely on.
Great.
This morning, I hurt my back standing up after breakfast. That does let me down, right?
Fair enough.
But the voice doesn't.
Yeah.
But this show, not only are you singing big, you're singing big, famous songs that everyone has an expectation of. And I was playing a real person.
Yeah.
So I'm whacking out Vienna, dancing with tears in my eyes.
Midge.
Do they know it's Christmas?
Oh,
like those,
the biggies.
Those were my 3 big numbers.
Wow.
Masai, it's 3 number ones. I think definitely 2.
Yes.
No, Vienna didn't get to number 1.
Is it not?
Because Shut Up or Your Face beat it.
I I know this fact because my
criminal.
That's exactly the very fact that my partner would have given us. I know this fact.
Criminal.
To be true.
Midge was robbed.
No, yes, he was. I know because what a lovely connection. Because I was telling you that my sister Emma has supported Midge on tour, so she did so when she was 19, and then walked away from music for like 10 years. Then started recording in lockdown, and then last year Midge asked her back.
Amazing.
And was the loveliest person.
He is.
So we love Midge in our house.
Good guy.
We love Midge in our family.
We love Midge in my family. He's honestly just a gentleman. He's the kindest, most generous, encouraging person. And I can't lie, like that gala night on the 13th of July last year was the 40th anniversary of the show, of Live Aid.
Yeah.
And me and my pal Craig that played Bob Geldof, we were, in the wings going, it's happening. They're all here. Like, it's really a thing. This is shut Shaftesbury Avenue. Like it was big.
That's wild.
Brian May was coming on stage at the end with them all. The nurse that the story was based on from Ethiopia was there. Dame Claire Bertschinger. That's who got in touch with. Yeah, Michael Burke met her, and then Geldof watched the Michael Burke. And then was like, we need to do something, and went to Ethiopia.
I watched the documentary about it.
So that's
recently,
the kind of
actually.
That's the quick version.
Wow.
But we came out, opened the show, and I was
You're part of history.
I was a wreck. I was just like, oh my God, because Midge was in that box and Bob was in that box, and I thought you could have put them up the back a wee bit. So I can literally, like, you could see into his eyes.
Wow.
And I came down for my first number, which was Dancing with Tears in My Eyes, which just starts on the big B flat or whatever. And I came down, I was like, you can do this, George, you can do this. And I was sweating. Also, I'm holding the mic thinking, I'm going to drop it. And I got that done. And once I'd done that bit, I was like, okay, just tick them off as you go, just one number at a time. I did the whole run like that. I never took it for granted until I was off at the end of the night and I could go, right, that show's in the box now.
Yes. Sounds sensible.
But at the end, Geldof comes on and he's, doing the big speech. Of course, we knew that would happen, and he loves a chat, Bob, because he's just a passionate person. But he literally pulls me out of the circle, and he's like, it's 1984 and blah, 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 telling the story. And he went, ladies and gentlemen, Midge Ure, and he welcomes Midge on stage. And there's a photograph I'll send you after this. And he goes like that to me, and I go like that to him. And he gave me a hug, and he went, well done, son. And I thought, that's all I need. The reviews are good if they're good. It doesn't matter if they're shite. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you can do it.
But,
so true.
Send me the nice ones if I get a nice write-up. Yeah. Like I got a nice wee mention in Rolling Stone, and I was buzzing about it. I was like, I can put that in my tombstone. Do you know what I mean? Rolling Stone gave me 4 stars. But Midge, because he's a guy, I know those men. I know those people.
You do.
It doesn't take any more than well done, son. I didn't need you to say, I think you're glory. I didn't need any of that. Well done, son. It said 1,000 words, and my shoulders dropped about 3 inches, and then I got absolutely hammered. And we had a brilliant night because they'd put buses on for us. They'd put double deckers on, and they were all named after one of the songs. So I think I was on I Don't Like Mondays, and we all got taken on these route masters to Coco in Camden, and there was a huge night. The Boomtown Rats played, and I met like Sally Lindsay. Was like, hi mate, I'm great. I was like, oh, what's happening? What's my life here? What's my life here? And then McCartney emails in last week. That show was effing fantastic. All lots of love from the heart of my bottom, Paul McCartney. And you're just like, Paul McCartney. Like, it's Paul McCartney.
Pinch.
And someone's singing Let It Be at the end of the show, so thank goodness they never knew he was in, because that's another layer of pressure.
Another layer.
One of the most famous songs ever written. Like, oh, by the way, Paul sat in the middle of the stalls, but he was sat behind the producers who had no idea he was there. He just snuck in because his son works in the production. He was in the wardrobe team, so his son had got his dad a seat.
As
his show, as you do. And he came in with his mask on. He watched it and he left. And classy guy, Big Paul.
Another classy guy,
Big Paul.
Another classy guy, George. You're incredible. You've done amazing things, and you're going to continue to do amazing things. And I feel like this was the right moment. I'm so appreciative that you're here, especially now, because you're on that come down of. And
I am a wee bit.
You're up the road like 2 minutes, and I'm like, right, come on, do a podcast.
Listen, it's about making it happen, right?
Because it's fresh in your head. It's you're literally living it and breathing it, and your passion just oozes out you. It just oozes out you. You've totally enthused me.
Oh, wow.
Like, as somebody who's doing a thing, and sometimes you're a bit like, what am I doing? And Like,
Oh,
you've
aye.
just made me think, why are you doing it? Because that's the thing that's the most important.
That's
Doesn't
it.
matter what you're doing.
What's the payoff?
Why are you doing it?
Because it's usually not the thing that everyone else would think it is. The thing for you, like, what's your wee tick box?
100%.
I would ask that. That's what I would always ask of the students. Like, you'll be no more talented by the end. You'll just be smarter. So what does 10-year-old Jim want out of this? You know, what's going to be the thing that changes the course of your life? Because for me, I wanted to work in the West End. There was no two ways about it. I was determined that I could say I'd done it if I did that. But for other people, it might be, I want to work abroad. I want to choreograph, direct, be a lighting designer. I watch people diversify all the time. It might be, I've always wanted to travel the world, so I just want a ship contract and I want to jump on a ship and sit there for 10 years and see the world, whatever it might be. It might be I want to sing
Your why.
in a home. Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't
yeah.
matter. But yeah, your why. Because it's not all about
No.
glitzy, you know.
And tick, 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 tick.
100%.
Other people's, you know, like, I always used to say to the kids, like, don't yuck somebody's yum. Like, so if that's the thing that they want to do, whether you think that's like the be all and end all, whether you think, like, why would you want to do that? If that's their thing, then let them have it.
And just wish them
100%.
well.
Yes.
Because everyone can be a winner, actually. Like, especially, I can only talk about my game, you know. If the other boy gets it, great, good for you. You got the opportunity. Yes, I can be fuming for me, but I'm not going to be mad at you.
No, that's not directed at that person.
Because it's happened that other way around every single time. For all the moments of joy that I've had, there's
Somebody
5
else
other
has been
people who are
disappointed.
absolutely devastated, and you can't gloat about that. And it can all go like that. You know what it's like, especially physically. One bad injury can knock you out. One bad vocal injury could knock you out. Like, a
Just
million
savouring
things.
it all while
You've
it's
got to just
happening.
enjoy it while it's happening.
Yeah,
and I
the
think that's where the break
process.
was good, because I was I need to work. And now I'm like, I've done that one. That was amazing. So if I get the next one, great. But in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy this and that and that. And, you know, you've got to keep the will for the door and you've got to earn a living. But I can do that in 100 different ways. And there's a freedom that comes with that as well, where you're not just tunnel vision, you know. And I got engaged last year and we want to plan a wedding. And
Congratulations.
thank you.
That's exciting.
That is exciting.
That's so exciting. Oh my God, who's
Christopher.
coming to this wedding? I'll tell you.
Oh no, do you know what? I think it'll be that size.
We're keeping it small.
Yeah, we were in Toronto with the show, and he came out for a visit. So I said, "Come on, we'll go up to Niagara Falls for a wee trip, will we?" Oh, it's freezing. It was -24
That's
or something.
amazing.
I thought I was going to lose the ring because it was so cold.
So you have got so much to look
But
forward
loads
to
to
already.
look forward to, and loads to look back on, and be.
Yes.
We were all a mess on Saturday night, crying our eyes
Can
out.
imagine.
Everyone, let it be. You know, holding on to each other, and then it's done. There's a line in the show that says, "And just like that, it was over." And you go, the day we'd all been working so hard to make happen had finally been. And it's like, yeah, we did the thing. So let's just enjoy that moment. And there will be somewhere down the line, I'm like, I'd kill to do that again. But right now, I get to sit on the couch at 7 o'clock at my mum's house. It's a lovely thing.
Lovely.
'Cause that's the thing you don't get as an evening. Evenings are completely
They're so precious to you
precious.
now. Yeah.
And Saturdays. Like, I get to go and see my friends tomorrow, Saturday morning. You go, because I don't have to go and do a matinee
What is
tomorrow.
this world?
I'm going to enjoy doing
Well,
that.
just you enjoy your number of Saturdays you've got left until the next biggie
Until the
comes.
next one, yeah.
This is why I do this. This conversation we've just had, you've lit a spark in me. I'm so appreciative that you're here.
No, I have.
I think you're
loved
wonderful.
It. I've loved it. Thank you for having me.
You're Braw and brave in equal measure, and whatever you do next, I'm just excited to see what
Mostly
happens.
because we're pals now.
Please do. Thanks. And
No, really, it's been
thank you for
a
being
treat.
so open and
course.
just like sharing all those wonderful stories. It's just been a joy.
Thank you.
George Ure, you're now in the BrawBrave Clan.
Yes. Maybe one day I'll be on there with Darren.
Listen, it's happening.
At least you've got Louise.
We've got Louise up there. And there you go, another BrawBrave episode. Thank you so much for joining us. And as I say, follow us on the socials, because that's where all the lovely behind the scenes stuff happens, you know. And until next time, we'll see you on the Braw and the Brave. Bye for now.